it's not really clear how big of an impact AI is going to have on the world around us. Is it going to be huge, or is it going to be relatively small? And what will be the time frame in which this will happen? Will it happen over 10 years or 50 years? Well, according to the CEO of Google, Sundar Pichai, we're already in the middle of an AI revolution right now. So without further ado, here are 5 ways AI is already changing our world. No. 1. The way we search the internet. When we talk about searching the internet, we usually mean Google, which has been the dominant search engine for many years now. However, in late 2022, Microsoft announced that they had partnered up with OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, and that they would be implementing ChatGPT into their search engine Bing. At the time, it seemed like just another PR stunt by Microsoft to make people use their search engine. However, shortly after this announcement, Google had to announce that they were working on their own generative AI chatbot, which they named Bard, in order to compete with the growing popularity of ChatGPT. It seemed like all the hype around ChatGPT made people forget that Google was also a very capable AI research lab, and that they would easily be able to come up with something better than ChatGPT. However, when Bard was released, it turned out that it wasn't as good as ChatGPT, but that it was actually pretty bad. In some cases, it gave incorrect answers, and in other cases, it didn't even seem to understand what the question was about. This isn't too surprising though, since Google had to release Bard just to stay relevant. They probably didn't have enough time to fully train the model before releasing it to the public. But even so, this is a big deal since it shows that AI chatbots are already becoming a fundamental part of search engines, which is how we find information on the internet. And who knows what kind of features will be added in the future. Maybe one day your search engine will be able to answer any question correctly and completely. Number 2, the way we create art. For a long time, the debate about whether or not computers could create art has been a very popular one. There were movies like Her where the main character falls in love with his computer's operating system, which had a very human-like personality. Some people believed that this would never happen because computers couldn't be creative, and that they would always just follow a set of rules in order to produce art. But others argued that computers could become very creative if they were given the right algorithms. One thing is for sure though, AI is already changing the way we create art today. Take for example the famous AI art generator DALL-E 2, which was released by scientists at OpenAI. This AI took a text phrase and generated an image based on that phrase. This wasn't anything new since we've seen this being done before. But DALL-E 2 was able to generate images that were incredibly realistic. The problem with previous models was that they could only generate images based on a limited set of data. So if you wanted an image of something that wasn't in the training set, you wouldn't get a good result. However, with DALL-E 2, this changed. It was able to generate images based on a huge variety of different concepts, and it did a really good job at it too. This means that artists can now use AI to help them generate ideas for their art, or even to create the art itself. And this is just the beginning. Who knows what kind of things will be possible in the future. Maybe one day we all have AI tools that can help us create any piece of art we can think of. Number 3, the way we write code. Code is what makes all the technology we have today possible. It's the thing that turns raw hardware into useful software. However, writing code is not easy. It takes years of experience to learn how to write good code, and even then mistakes happen all the time. This is why AI is already changing the way we write code. For example, GitHub Copilot is an AI tool that helps developers write code faster by predicting what the next line of code should be. All the developer has to do is type in a few lines of code, and then GitHub Copilot will predict what the rest of the code should be. This saves developers a lot of time, since they don't have to think about every single line of code they write, and it also helps them avoid mistakes. GitHub Copilot is already being used by many developers, and it's expected to become even more popular in the future. This will allow developers to write code much faster than they could before, which means that we'll see even more amazing software being created in the years to come. And who knows, maybe one day AI will be able to write code on its own. For the way we work, as AI becomes more and more advanced, it will be able to do more and more tasks that humans can do. This means that in the future, there will be fewer jobs that only a human can do. This doesn't mean that everyone will become obsolete, but it does mean that we need to be prepared for some changes in the workplace. One thing is for sure though, AI is already changing the way we work today. For example, AI-powered tools are already being used to automate repetitive tasks, which allows humans to focus on more creative tasks. And as AI gets better, this trend will continue. This means that in the future, most jobs will require some level of creativity, and this is a good thing. Humans are good at being creative, but they're not so good at doing repetitive tasks. So by automating the boring stuff, AI will allow us to focus on the more fun and rewarding parts of our jobs. However, there will still be some jobs that require human touch and creativity, and those jobs will be the ones that are safe from automation. So if you want to keep your job in the future, you need to focus on developing skills that are hard to automate. This includes things like critical thinking, creativity, and emotional intelligence. If you can develop these skills, you'll be able to do a job that AI can't take away from you. And number 5, the way we travel. Self-driving cars are already on the road, and they're being tested by millions of people every day. While they may not be as common as regular cars just yet, they're getting there quickly. Self-driving trucks are also being tested, and they could revolutionize the way goods are transported. Being used to deliver packages, and also being used in agriculture to spray crops, and in construction to inspect buildings. In the future, AI will be able to do even more things. For example, AI-powered planes are being developed, and they could help pilots land planes in bad weather, or they could even be used to fly planes without a pilot on board. AI is also being used to optimize traffic flow and to reduce congestion in cities. This is done by using AI to predict how traffic will move in the future and then adjusting traffic lights and signs accordingly. This is already being done in some cities, and it's helping to reduce the amount of time people spend stuck in traffic. AI is also being used to develop better and more efficient public transportation systems. This includes things like self-driving buses and trains, as well as systems that help passengers plan their trips more efficiently. This is already being done in some cities, and it's helping to make public transportation more attractive to people who live there. All in all, AI is already changing our world in big and small ways. It's up to us to decide how we will use this technology in the future. If we use it wisely, AI can make our lives easier, more productive, and more enjoyable. But if we use it carelessly, AI could cause a lot of harm. It's important to remember that AI is a tool. It's not good or bad in itself. It all depends on how we use it. Hopefully, we'll be able to use AI to make the world a better place for everyone. That's all for this video. Hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. Let me know in the comments below what you think about AI and how you think it will change our world in the future. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.